In our conversations over the past few weeks, we were discussing how the majority of students seem to be, well, maybe not depressed, but at least unhappy. Why do you think that, even though most of us are going through the same things, communication between us seems to be minimal?
That's one of the strangest issues we're facing now because when I was going through it, I felt like not one person on campus could relate to what I'm going through. And so I didn't even bother to share my thoughts with someone else. Towards the end of my freshman year, one of the students in my com group mentioned something about missing his parents, and after our meeting, I asked him about it, and he kind of described everything that I felt at that moment. After that, it hit me that so many of us facing similar problems and talking about it does help at times.
Right. That's what I sort of realized as well, but I still have no clue why people don't talk about it. I've been doing some research about it for my Tech 120 class, and a few of the articles that I read talk about the reason students refuse to go to counselors or group meetings and things like that. Why do you think we shy away from that?
I think it definitely has something to do with the stigma surrounding mental health nowadays. People just refuse to take it seriously. Some people can't even grasp the idea of depression. If you go on Facebook or Twitter, you might see comments like, I don't get how people can be depressed, just don't be sad. Or, why is he depressed? He's rich. People don't seem to realize that your mental health at times has nothing to do with your financial status.
Yep, exactly. That's what I was thinking. One thing I was also thinking about particularly is how where you're from impacts how you deal with issues like depression. We come from similar cultures, and men are usually viewed as non emotional beings. We're taught to portray strength at all times. Do you think that you refraining from getting some form of help was based on how you were raised?
It definitely did. Usually people depend on family members to understand what they're going through, but I could not get myself to tell my parents that I was struggling to live alone. I felt like I had to meet some expectations that came with being a male. It's quite ridiculous when you think about it, but it is what it is. That kind of thinking is slowly dying out though.
We haven't really gotten into why you were depressed this time last year. If you don't mind, could you talk to me about the main reasons you went through all that?
Yeah, sure. So before coming here, I had an entirely different perspective of university. Um, I was pretty excited about coming, but unfortunately, you never know how much you're in need of someone or something till you lose it. I mean, after living alone for a few weeks, I realized that I missed my parents a lot. Not in the normal way. My parents and I were really close. I'm the only child, so that kind of explains it. And I never thought I was this antisocial. So the process of making friends back home differs a whole lot from how it is here. Being far away from my parents was what triggered a series of other issues. I think was spending too much time alone and things that never bothered me before started to mess with my head. Things like my physical appearance, what clothes I wore, etc. That's basically how I fell into this trap.
It's interesting that you call it a trap. What makes you say that? And to end our interview, why do you think people need to? What do you think people need to do to help fight this issue?
I view it as a trap because once you're in, it's extremely difficult to get out. This links directly to your next question because I don't think there's a way to stop people from getting depressed, but there are several ways to help them get out of it. I think just talking about the problem like we're now helps a whole lot. Whoever is gonna watch this interview may view this issue from a different perspective after they're done with it. I think it's essential that we change the public's general idea of mental health and make it easier for these kids to share their problems.
Right. Well, that's all I've got to ask you for now. So thank you so much for your time.
No worries. Thank you.